Welcome Capricorn to your in-depth weekly horoscope for week commencing the 31st of July. This week begins with your ruler Saturn in an opposition to Mercury. Saturn's in the part of your situation that's to do with the expression of everyday ideas, your belief systems, your connections to neighbours, can be the third house to do with tech, but Mercury, of course, can be to do with communication. Some kind of tension can creep into things at the start of this week very easily. And yet, also in the sign of Virgo, where Mercury lays, is Mars, the ninth house. This could really push you in its inspirational link to Jupiter, the planet of opportunity, to do something that's really dynamic around a travel plan, getting together with friends for a really sociable night out, doing something that perhaps is a little bit off the beaten track, because of course you have Uranus in your fifth solar house as well. So because Jupiter can be to do with knowledge, but also action, travel, maybe getting away with some friends and doing something that's really, really fun, a go-kart outing or paintballing, something that's really different could really excite you, or go into watch some kind of sports team or a band. But if it happens quickly and it's quite vibrant, that can be really exciting for you. But I just feel that the arrangements need to be very precise because of Saturn's opposition to Mercury. And if there is someone who's a bit tense around this big idea you've got, that could really be a bit of a turn off. Now, of course, there is a lot of action still in the sign of Leo, your eighth house, which has really been lit up over the last few months. That's really where we're most invested, but it can be where we see big transformations. Some things make way, new things come along. It's the sector of the Phoenix. So having the sun there in an opposition with the moon in the sign of Aquarius activates the eighth second house axis. This could mean that something to do with a monetary issue may need to be grappled with, but the second house is also about our sense of self, our worth and our values. And that's something to bear in mind. Don't just see it through the prism of the practicalities of money, but of course Venus is retrograde in that part of your situation. Perhaps in a romantic context, if you are in a type that doesn't have a lot of pash, there isn't a lot of sensual intimacy, that is something that this full moon could see you yearn for a little bit, to be honest. And because Mars and Jupiter are in such a dramatic alliance, doing something spontaneous but is rather daring and adventurous could be just what reinvigorates you, even if it's not actually with your partner. But Venus is compromised by Pluto in your sign and also Neptune. Venus forges a yod with them, technical astrological term. Venus at the top of the apex, and Pluto and Neptune are 60 degrees apart, but Venus is in conjunct or quincunx both of them. What this means is your desire to be very invested needs to fit in with the control you want over your situation from Pluto in the first house, which has been very strong since 2008. That's been vital that you felt at the heart of all that you're doing. Neptune's in the part of your situation to do with your everyday communication, which, as you know, Saturn is challenging in that opposition to the planet of communication, Mercury, at the start of the week. But Venus just suggests that if there is that lack of real depth or meaning to a relationship, or financially you just feel that you see things very differently to that other person, lots of food for thought there. And Uranus then clashes with Venus at the end of this week. So if you also feel that someone's rather possessive, even though you don't get what you fully need, well, maybe you do need to have a frank discussion, or maybe you need to think about things very carefully yourself, because Uranus squaring Venus can create separations if things aren't working. And I think one of the things with all this energy that's gone through Leo over the last few months, it probably has made you much more aware of where you're giving it everything, but you feel other people aren't. So they don't necessarily have to give you the same as you're giving, but there has to be a sense that the commitment's there, that they're as devoted, as invested. And if that's lacking, that could be where Uranus comes along and makes you think, okay, I need to spin out, do something more sociable. For myself, the fifth house is to do with our need to express our individuality and have fun, along with Jupiter in that great link to Mars. So you can see it's a complex week. There can be some themes on communication, themes on money, but most of all, it's where you feel really switched on and alive. And if there's a lack of that, doing dramatic things to try and create some spark and pizzazz. And why not? I want to share with you a very exciting opportunity. Year 2023 is speeding by, and year 2024 is racing towards us. You can order your year 2024 personal horoscope forecast based on your personal birth data now, and I will prepare for you the rest of year 2023 free of charge. Also, within my special package, you get 30% off and your character analysis report, your life roadmap, which will help you to understand the patterns that are being repeated in your situation and get a much more intimate knowledge of these and learn how to work with them in a more effective way going forwards. Please see the link below for more.